Hi everyone, this is a demo for E1589 automatic production setup and deployment. And here we are going to automate the process for deploying the Expertiza project directly on the virtual private server. And this is the description for that. And first we are going to create a droplet. Droplet is nothing but a virtual private server on the DigitalOcean. So first we are going to create a droplet. And for creating a droplet, we have to first choose the operating system. We are choosing Ubuntu 14.04. Then choose the plan for that, for the space and the transfer data, and then the nearest server location, then selecting the SSH key so that we can directly log in to the server without the password, and just provide the host name and then press create for creating the droplet. So this will take around a minute actual for creating the server. We are done with the server creation, and just record the IP address of the server. This is going to be used by the script that we are going to run, the setup underscore vps sh. Just give the username and the IP address and the default port number. Since first time we are logging into the server, so just give a yes. The first thing it's going to do, it's going to just upload the script db, which will be going to help us into setting up the database. So in the real time, it's going to take around 10 to 15 minutes, and then it will start with the uploading of the chef cookbook on the server, and then running the knife solo commands. So, so the recipe is start getting executed on the server. So one by one, the following recipes are going to install. The default one, the default recipe, then the Expertiza clone, and then the set Java home recipe, and then the Expertiza in the MySQL, then Nginx server, and then the unicorn recipe, and finally we have the server start recipes. So first we are going to go one by one through all the recipes and the scripts that we have written for the deployment, and this is a bash script that we have written. So first thing it's going to do is just going to upload the whole of the script db, which is a heavy file, onto the server, and then it will run the next solo commands. And this is a JSON file. This is one for each node that we have where we want to deploy our Expertiza, and it has all the attributes that will be required and used by the various recipes. So let us go, and the topmost we have a run list where we have all the recipes in the order in which it's going to be executed. So we have Expertiza. So let's go to the first recipe. This is a default recipe. This will be run in the foremost order, and this will install all the packages, and then it will set up a time zone as well. So this is how it works on a server. Various packages getting installed, setting up the time zone, and we have Expertiza clone recipe. This will first create a directory, and in that directory we are going to just clone the git repo for the Expertiza. It has an action called sync, which is going to sync the repo with the clone copy, so that any changes made to the repo will get reflected in the clone. Then next we have the set Java home recipe. Here we are setting the Java home environment variable, which is going to be used by the various gems while the bundle install. So this is how it's getting executed one by one. Then let us move on to the next recipe, that is MySQL. So this will install the various prerequisite packages for the MySQL and the MySQL itself, and we have already given the default root password for the MySQL. And we are working here in the non-interactive environment so that we don't get a prompt for giving the username and password for the root user for the MySQL. So we install MySQL one by all the various packages in MySQL one by one. Then we have the installation for the Nginx server, which is a web proxy server and which will handle the static content requests for the Expertiza. So this is the actual Nginx file which is going to run, and it has got a template file where all the configuration details are stored. So this is going to be copied onto the server, and this will be used by the Nginx service. And then the last main recipe that we have is the unicorn web server, which is going to handle the dynamic content request which will get forwarded to the database. And this is the recipe. This is what we are doing here. Just doing the configuration, and this is a template file for the unicorn. This is how it gets executed on the server. And finally, we are starting both the Nginx and unicorn services using the start server service.rb. So now we can start using Expertiza here. Thank you.